Hey, this is Wes at Armory. We are going to be installing today a 3-piece upgrade kit for your Glock Gen 5. It's going to be a magazine catch. This magazine catch has been extended and contoured, so your thumb actually slides up into it and it's easier to depress and easier to locate on the blind. Second, we're going to be installing a slide lock, which is this component here. This one is extended, so it's actually easier to grip with both your two fingers, much easier than the standard stock one. And third, we're going to be installing Dimple pins, and the Dimple pins make it a lot easier to have your punch find a center spot of your pin to press it, so you don't accidentally mar up the polymer of your frame. All these parts are in a gold color. So let's get to it here. Step one is to always make sure your gun is unloaded and safe. Make sure there's no ammo in the room or around when you're working on your gun. So go ahead and rack it back a few times, lock it open, feel with your finger, make sure there's no magazine, no bullet in the chamber, and then visually inspect it. We're unloaded. Everything is well, we can get started. So the first one we're going to do is the slide lock here. So in order to get to the inside of the frame of your gun, you're going to want to take the top slide off. To do that, all you need to do is drop the slide forward, point it in a safe direction, pull the trigger all the way down, and now you're going to pull the slide back about 1/4 of an inch by grabbing the back here over the top and just pulling it a little bit. When you do that, then take your two fingers, pull down on the slide lock. Once you've pulled all the way down, release the top and the slide will come off. Go ahead and just set that aside. All right guys, so to get this slide lock out, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this down, and as you pull it down, take your tool. You can actually push down from the top. Push down from the top might be a little easier. Push down from the top, take your tool, and press it when it's at the bottom. And it should pop right out, just like that. Now, to be honest, sometimes when you pop this out, the spring in there just shoots off, and you might lose it. And if you do lose the spring, we sell spare springs on the website. So go ahead and find those there if you need it. So I lost my spring. I'm going to go find it. I'll be right back. And so taking our lost spring, we're just going to put our replacement spring in here, the one that popped out. And there's a little spot right in the middle, made just for this spring. So you just get it in there. And now take your slide lock and you're going to slide it in. There's a specific way that it's oriented. You want to make sure that the slot here, that's on top of this little sombrero shape, you want to make sure that slot is facing the back of the gun. So you're going to install it exactly the way I'm doing it here. Now what you're going to want to do is take your tool and push your spring down. Now this is a tricky spot because sometimes you will have your spring shoot out and get lost on you. There we go. You can see I've got it started. The cover, it's just covering the spring. So just go ahead and keep pushing. Use your tool to kind of keep your corner down. And there we go. Now it's in there. Working great. Wonderful grip. Looking good. All right. Next step is we're gonna remove the magazine catch. And the way we do that is we're gonna go inside here. There's a little metal rod in here and you're gonna scoop under. Now you need to hold the right side of the magazine catch flush to the frame of the gun because you're gonna wanna keep that fixed while you scoop out the catch bar. So you can see that I popped the spring out. And now all we're going to do is push from the left side of the gun towards the right, and you can see it coming out here. Now we know it's completely free. We're gonna sneak our finger in here and just slide this spring right out. Now, sometimes the spring's seated pretty well. You might need a pair of needle nose pliers. Usually you can push from the back and get it out. Go ahead and take your old one, remove it. So now we're gonna slide the magazine catch in. We're gonna slide it in from the right side towards the left because we're a right-hand shooter and we wanna release it with our right thumb. So we're just gonna put it in here and then push it all the way through. Make sure it seats correctly. You can feel it kind of find its home. And once it's in there, take your spring and you wanna slide your spring right down the middle. You can hold it with one hand here and take your other hand and get your finger in from the bottom to guide the spring into the right spot. So it's gonna look a little something like this. So just like that, and you're just gonna guide it in with your finger and just keep guiding it in. And once it's feels like it's seated, go ahead and just orient it like this and then push on the top of it to make sure it's all the way down in that little plastic hole that it finds itself in. And so when it's at this height, you can tell that you've seated it all the way because it should correspond and snap into this area. So in order to snap it in, keep one finger on one side to keep the magazine catch from moving. And then take your tool and push it to the right. Usually it's easier if you do this from the top, so just trying to demonstrate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it from the top, where you get in here and you snap it in. Perfect. Now you can see that it works just like that. It's already looking better. That is cool. Final step is you're gonna install the pins. Let's start with the easy one in the back, the trigger housing pin. The best practice is to push the pins in and out from the same direction, so you're not pushing all the way through and through. If it goes in from the right, it should go out from the right. So we're just gonna go ahead and push on this. I can see it's coming out nicely. Oop, there we go, one down. And I'm not putting a back strap on here, so I'm gonna use my smaller pin, and I'm gonna put it in from right to left, just like this. Now, when you're using these, you don't wanna put metal on metal. So if you've got a paper towel or something to press the pin, go ahead and press it with a paper towel. Sometimes you can use the back of something polymer, or if you have a nylon punch, and you can get it just right. So this one, real happy with how that turned out. And now we're gonna punch out the main pin here. This one's a little trickier. It's gonna take a little extra force. And sometimes you have to wiggle the slide stop lever. So I'm gonna give it a push here, give myself a little wiggle, another push, and there we go. So we got it most of the way out. We're just gonna, sometimes you can use your slide itself if you don't have a special bench set up, and you can hold it like this, pop it the rest of the way out, just like that. So we're gonna go ahead and set this one aside as well, and put our gold one in from the same side we pushed it out from. I'm gonna slide it in right here. Now, when you're sliding this in, you might need to move your trigger around a little bit in order to make these holes concentric, and you might need to move your slide stop lever a little bit. Now you'll be able to tell because you can look through this hole here and actually sort of see the pin coming through and when these holes start lining up with each other. Now sometimes you need to push down on the top of this ambidextrous slide stop lever in order to get them concentric just like that. And now it's going through. Perfect. Push down again. There we go. And now we're gonna even it up Again, I'm gonna use the soft plastic side here to even it up with my tool. That's looking very symmetrical, nice. And my part's working great. So now that we've got those on, we're gonna go ahead and put the slide back on simply by lining the slide up from all the way from the front to these two posts here. Slide it along them. Once you've got it started, keep going. Make sure you put it on these two accurately as well. Now you're locked up. Pull it back hard once, double check it. It's moving nicely. And now you've got your 3-piece upgrade installed. Man, that gold has one heck of a shine to it. The extended slide lock here makes it a lot easier to actually hold on and disassemble when you're pulling back. Much better grip. Your magazine release, what's really nice about it is not only is it a little longer, extended, but it's also designed to ramp up. It's the smoothest, most popular magazine release. You're gonna be really, really happy with this. So I hope you're more than satisfied, and I hope it went as well for you as it did for me. Thank you again. We'll see you next time.